Hi. I'd like to talk to you a little bit today about my views on the United Way. First of all, I'd like to apologize for coming to you through this rather cold medium of videotape. I'd far prefer talking to you in person, but as you can imagine, this tape will be shown several times and it's a little impractical. You've just seen a rather compelling film on, I guess, what I'd call the humanitarian side of the United Way. Certainly a side to which I completely subscribe. I think we all feel that when our fellow man is in trouble, we'd like to do all we can to help him out. I think there's another side, though, that I'd like to discuss with you, since that side was covered quite well in the previous film. The side I want to talk about may be considered by some of you to be a little selfish, a little impersonal, and sort of out of the general context of giving that the United Way portrays. But I think it's more of a practical side. And I look at it from my own standpoint, certainly, along the lines that I want the United Way to succeed because I want a better place in which to live myself. I want a better place in which to raise my family, and in general a comfortable surrounding that I think can be afforded partially by the success of the United Way. Certainly there are a lot of other aspects that make a city a nice place to live, but the United Way is certainly a very strong influence along these lines. And I want this sort of community too for all of my fellow workers at Hewlett-Packard, not only those who work with us now, but those that are going to work with us in the future. We certainly can't attract the sort of people that we want, the sort of people we need for the challenges facing us, if we don't have not only a good company, obviously, but a good community in which we can all live. So I think there are lots of ways that we can help our community, and certainly we encourage our people to be active in the community. One of these ways, of course, is through a good, strong support of the United Way. As you know, Hewlett-Packard funds matches. In other words, for every dollar you give, we match that with a dollar, and it's pretty much for these various reasons that I've been talking about that we do that. We want a good community for you and for all other Hewlett-Packard employees. So I think really there are three reasons that we should support the United Fund. The obvious one, the humanitarian things that we talked about and that you saw the film about, and I certainly subscribe to those, as I said. I further think that if we support the United Way, we will have a better place in which to live, and I think we all want that for ourselves and our family. And thirdly, I think that the success of the Hewlett-Packard Company in Colorado Springs is greatly enhanced by the sorts of things that the United Way does. Certainly it's unrealistic to think that we can have a good, prosperous, healthy, growing division in a community that isn't similarly healthy, growing, prosperous, and just a general good place to live. So I'd like to encourage you to look very favorably toward the United Way. If any or all of these reasons appeal to you, as they do to me, I think you'll conclude that the United Way is certainly something that we want to support. Thanks very much. Hi. I'd like to talk to you for a couple minutes about the United Way. First of all, I want to apologize for coming to you through this rather cold medium of videotape. I'd far rather appear in person, but as you can appreciate, this will be shown several times, quite a number of times, and it's a little impractical for me to show up every time. You've just seen a rather compelling film on the humanitarian aspects of the United Way. Certainly I subscribe very, very deeply and heartily to the humanitarian aspects that were shown in the film. I think we all agree that whenever our fellow man is in trouble, we'd like to do everything we possibly can to help him out. But I think there's another side of it that I'd like to talk about, a side that I'm sure some of you will say is a bit of a selfish one, and not at all in the general character that the United Way would like to portray. However, I think it's a very practical one, and from my own standpoint, I've thought about it a fair amount and concluded that there is a practical side to the United Way that is important to me. Specifically, this side says that I want a nice community in which to live. I want a healthy, growing, prosperous community in which to live myself and also to bring up my family. I think this is very important to me, and I suspect it's important to you too. I think this side also says that we, the Hewlett-Packard company, want a community of this sort in which we as a company and as a division can prosper. Certainly, I think you'd agree that people coming to the company, not only our present employees, but certainly our future employees, want a place that's nice to live. I certainly feel that we should provide this. Obviously, we need to provide a good company, security, and a growing, interesting sort of work to have. But in addition to that, I think we have a responsibility to provide a good community, a good after-hours environment in which to live and bring up your family and my family. So I think really there are three reasons we all should want the United Way to become successful. First of all, certainly the humanitarian thing that we did talk about before. As I said, I do subscribe to that, and I think most of you do too. Secondly, from, if you will, a selfish standpoint or selfish reason, we should all want the community to be a nice place to live so that we can grow up and our families can grow up in a pleasant environment. And thirdly, from a standpoint of our future success, our, meaning as HP employees, I think we need a community in which, to which we can attract future talented employees, and in which we can discharge our responsibility to our existing employees in terms of helping provide just a nice place to live, a place that we enjoy living, and a place that we're proud of. I think these are compelling reasons, and I hope you share them with me. If you do, I certainly would like to ask you to support the United Way to whatever extent you can, because I think it is for all of our good. Thank you very much.